Learn to act as if nothing bothers you. They lied to you. They told you strength is loud. That control means confrontation. That if something bothers you, the best way to win is to clap back. But what if the real power, the kind that commands rooms, shakes empires, and rewrites destinies, doesn't make a sound? What if the most powerful version of you isn't the one who fights every battle, but the one who doesn't flinch when the storm comes? You see, most people are emotionally bankrupt. One bad comment ruins their day. One failure, and they question their worth. One delay, and they fall apart. Why? Because no one ever taught them the secret I'm about to reveal: how to act as if nothing bothers you, even when everything inside is screaming. In the next few minutes, you won't just learn to manage your reactions, you'll learn how to own them. We're going deep into the mindset of those who stay calm while others collapse, into the emotional discipline that makes people unshakable, into the quiet confidence that makes the world ask, what does that person know that I don't? And by the end of this video, you'll have something they don't teach in school, the formula to become untouchable. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start dominating, stay with me. Don't blink, because what comes next may just change the way you walk through life forever. Master the nothing bothers me mindset. He learned early on that the world doesn't stop just because he's tired, angry, or frustrated. Life, that loud and relentless teacher, speaks over you, often when you least need the noise. Criticism, delays, unsolicited opinions, they're part of the background music. But here's the thing. Either you learn to dance to the rhythm with composure and emotional control, or you become a puppet pulled by the strings of your own reactions. True inner power begins the moment you decide your piece is no longer for sale. It's easy to look strong when life is cooperating. But what about when plans collapse? When judgment is disguised as advice? When expectations fall flat? That's when real mental strength reveals itself. Those who master the mindset of indifference, that serene impassibility rooted in self-control, understand that reaction is a choice, not a reflex. It's like walking through a storm and emerging with clean clothes, because you've armored yourself from within. Imagine that every time someone tries to provoke you, it's like they're tossing stones into a river. The river doesn't stop. It flows. Not because it's weak, but because it knows its direction. The unshakable mind isn't built by avoiding chaos, but by moving through it with intention, discipline, and detachment. When you learn to observe without absorbing, respond without explaining, and act without over-justifying, that's when you're ready for the next layer of mastery, the kind of emotional detachment that isn't coldness, but ultimate control. Emotional detachment is control. Emotional detachment isn't about becoming numb. It's about choosing to protect your inner peace without apologizing for it. Picture a man sitting calmly while the room around him burns with chaos, not because he doesn't care, but because he's trained his mind to stay still when others spiral. That's not apathy, that's strategic observation. When you detach from immediate reaction, you step into the role of the thinker, not the puppet. One of the most powerful mental habits a person can build is the ability to pause. That pause, even if it's just 3 seconds, creates space. And in that space lives clarity, focus, and composure. When you detach, you don't suppress your emotions, you manage them. You become the author of your own script, no longer playing a role written by someone else's judgment, rejection, or disapproval. You respond with precision instead of noise. A practical way to build this detachment? Start journaling every time you feel reactive. Write it down instead of acting on it. Visualize your highest self, calm, collected, rooted, navigating conflict like a chess master, not a street brawler. The goal isn't to feel nothing, it's to feel everything, but decide what gets your energy. And once you begin making that choice daily, the idea of mindful indifference starts to take shape. And that's a force most never learn to master. Mindful indifference is a superpower. You don't need to care about everything, and you shouldn't. That's the trap, thinking that every opinion, every comment, every problem deserves your attention. It's like trying to catch every raindrop in a storm, exhausting and pointless. The wise develop a powerful kind of indifference, not apathy, but discernment. They ask, will this matter 5 years from now? And if the answer is no, they let it go. Mindful indifference is the ability to choose your battles with surgical precision. It's walking through life knowing your energy is finite and treating it like currency. You don't throw money at junk, so why waste emotional energy on nonsense? When you're dialed into your purpose, your focus sharpens, your reactions shrink, and your presence intensifies. You become intimidating not by being loud, but by being unfazed. A person grounded in mindful indifference isn't cold, they're calculated. They know where they're going, and they refuse to get dragged into chaos that doesn't align with that path. Think about it. Have you ever met someone so calm it made others uncomfortable? That's not detachment from life. That's mastery of emotional economy. And from that space of calm, we begin to see why seeking approval is such a dangerous exchange. Stop seeking approval. The moment you begin living for other people's applause is the same moment you give them the power to silence you. Approval is seductive. It offers short-term validation in exchange for long-term self-doubt. People become prisoners of perception, chasing likes, compliments, and acceptance like it's oxygen. But here's the truth. The more you need to be liked, the easier you are to control. And control handed over is power given away. Think of the most magnetic people you know. They aren't begging for recognition. They don't shrink themselves to fit expectations or edit their dreams to please the crowd. Their confidence is rooted in authenticity, not applause. They've mastered the art of auto-validation, giving themselves permission to be exactly who they are. That kind of self-sufficiency is rare, but it's where all transformation begins. If you feel tempted to explain yourself to people who never built anything, pause. Ask, do they walk your path? Do they carry your vision? If not, why give their criticism any weight? Building your inner world, your mindset, your discipline, your mental resilience is infinitely more valuable than chasing compliments. And when you finally stop needing external approval, something else powerful emerges. Your ability to handle criticism without being crushed by it. Handle criticism with logic, not emotion. Criticism will come, not if, but when. It's the toll you pay for building something worth noticing. Most people crumble because they were never taught a simple truth. Not every opinion deserves a seat at your table. Emotional control isn't about ignoring feedback. It's about filtering it through the lens of logic, not insecurity. The stronger your self-validation, the weaker their disapproval becomes. There are two kinds of critics. The ones who want to help you rise, and the ones who want to watch you fall. The wise can spot the difference in seconds. They observe without internalizing, learn without losing themselves, and move forward with resilience. I once had a mentor who told me, never take criticism from someone you wouldn't trade lives with. That quote saved me years of frustration and built a shield around my focus. So, the next time someone throws shade, don't rush to defend. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this truth or just noise? If it's truth, use it. If it's noise, discard it with grace. That's composure. That's power. And once you master that, you'll be ready for the next level, because handling criticism is one thing, but staying calm under pressure when the whole world expects you to break? Now that is where the game really begins. Stay composed under pressure. Pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. When life tightens the screws, most people panic, complain, or freeze. Not because they're weak, but because they never trained for chaos. The person who keeps their composure under fire is often the one who rehearsed that moment in silence, day after day. While others pray for calm, the resilient learn to breathe inside the storm. There's a reason seasoned pilots don't scream during turbulence. They expect it. They know that resisting reality doesn't stop the shaking. It only adds fear to the equation. The ones who rise don't fight the pressure. They adapt to it like water. They trust their discipline, their strategy, and most importantly, their inner control. Pressure becomes the environment where their mindset sharpens, not collapses. Next time you're tested, deadlines crashing, emotions boiling, expectations stacking, try this. Pause, breathe through your center, and observe. Don't rush to react. Choose a calculated response. That one habit, practiced in small moments, builds the mental muscle you'll need when everything's on the line. And once you master that, you'll start to realize how much of your suffering was never about the pressure, but about your attachment to what you couldn't control in the first place. Let go of what you can't control. Most of our pain doesn't come from what happens. It comes from how tightly we hold on to what should have happened. Expectations are heavy, and the tighter your grip on outcomes, the more fragile your peace becomes. Detachment isn't about giving up on your goals. It's about releasing the illusion that you control every variable. True freedom is knowing the difference between what's yours to change and what's not. I remember watching a river once, flowing calmly around the rocks. It didn't argue with the obstacles, it just adjusted. That's the essence of emotional resilience, learning to move with life, not against it. You can't control people's reactions. You can't predict every result. But you can master your response, and that alone puts you back in the driver's seat. Letting go is a skill, one you build moment by moment. The delay in traffic? Let it go. The person who misunderstood you? Let it pass. The missed opportunity? Learn and release. The more you practice this, the lighter your spirit becomes. And when you finally let go of everything you can't control, you gain full command over one of the most underestimated forces on earth, your silence. Silence is power. Silence is not weakness. It is a strategy, one so misunderstood that most people fear it. In a world addicted to noise, the one who chooses stillness becomes dangerous. While others rush to explain, defend, justify, the quiet one listens, observes, waits. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight, not because they're louder, but because their presence is undeniable. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most confident, just the most insecure. Silence, when rooted in self-control, creates tension. It forces the other person to sit with their own discomfort, revealing their true intentions without you needing to say a word. Ever been in a negotiation where the quiet person won without pushing? That's emotional discipline at its finest, letting them show their cards while you keep yours close. You don't need to fill every space with sound. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to pause. Especially in moments of conflict, chaos, or pressure. Silence gives you time to choose your reaction, align your focus, and preserve your clarity. And it's through this silence, this elegant restraint, that your mental strength begins to evolve. Because staying silent is one thing, but learning to stay calm, even when your mind wants to scream. That's where the next transformation begins. Train yourself to stay calm. You don't rise in crisis. You reveal what you've trained for. Calm is not something you feel when life is gentle. It's something you build when life is messy. True mental strength is forged in the small, invisible moments. Waking up early when it's easier to stay in bed. Choosing silence when you could argue. Staying on task when frustration knocks. This is the discipline that no one claps for, but everyone respects. Imagine your mind as a battlefield. Every day, thoughts of fear, doubt, anger, and frustration try to gain ground. Without consistent training, those thoughts will run the show. But when you establish daily practices, journaling, meditation, strength training, breathing exercises, you start to rewire the system. You develop emotional resilience not by avoiding tension, but by welcoming it as a chance to sharpen your blade. And it's not about becoming emotionless. It's about taking responsibility for your state, no matter the noise outside. You don't wait for peace to show up. You generate it, day after day, choice after choice. And when your mind is this fortified, this calm, this strategic, you no longer need to announce your strength. Because now, you've earned the power to move in silence and let your results do the talking. Move in silence. There's a rare kind of power in the person who doesn't broadcast their plans. While the world shouts, they build. Quietly, strategically, with focus and discipline. You won't hear them bragging, because their presence does the talking. They don't need applause to feel worthy. They're too busy becoming undeniable. Think of the people who surprise everyone with their success. The ones who were underestimated, ignored, dismissed, until they couldn't be anymore. That's what happens when you move in silence. You eliminate distractions. You reduce interference. And most importantly, you protect your energy from those who don't share your vision or deserve your access. Stop explaining your dreams to those who lack the capacity to see them. That's wasted fuel. Instead, make Constantia your best-kept secret. Let your actions speak louder than announcements. In a world obsessed with attention, the one who operates with clarity, intention, and emotional control becomes unforgettable, not because they were loud, but because they were consistent. Let me ask you this. How much longer will you keep giving your power away to strangers? How many days, weeks, years have you wasted reacting to things that didn't deserve even 10 seconds of your energy? How many times have you let one comment ruin your day? One setback define your worth? One uninformed opinion rob you of your inner peace? You weren't born to be a puppet of circumstance. You were born to become the author of your life, with composure, self-validation, and a resilient mind. And now, you know exactly where to begin. But here's the real question. Will you apply this? Or let it become just another forgotten theory? Drop a comment below. Which lesson hit you the hardest today? And if this video sparked something in you, subscribe now and turn on the bell. Because here, you don't come to be entertained. You come to become unstoppable.